In this video, we're going to look at integrating Class Notebook into your Microsoft Teams. So within a certain course, if you are on the general channel, you're going to look up at the top, and Class Notebook is one of the options that defaults into your team. So if I click on Class Notebook, and this is really optional, you do not have to use Class Notebook to use Microsoft Teams, but it is a nice integration of OneNote Class Notebook. So if you're familiar with that program, if not, that's okay. It'll help you set this up once you're in here. So if I click on Class Notebook, I'm going to say go ahead and set up OneNote Class Notebook. And if you already have, if you're someone who's used OneNote before and you have some course materials that you want to pull into Teams, you can do from an existing notebook. If you've never used OneNote before, you can start from a blank notebook. So let's go ahead and start with a blank one. And it first tells you what you're going to get with the with my Sandbox Notebook. So there's a collaboration space, a content library, a teacher-only section so that you can build your content, and then student notebooks. So this just tells you what you're going to get. So from here, I'm going to click Next. And I can set up the sections in each student's notebook from the get-go. You can also add these sections later if you'd like, but if you know what those student sections need to be, you can add them right away. So for now, I'll just go with the default, but you can add, if you know what sections you would normally have in your courses, maybe you can just put those sections right off the bat here. For now, I'll leave them like they are. But adding sections or deleting sections is pretty easy. So we can just go to Add Section, type in a new name. If you don't want it, the X deletes it. So we're going to say Create. This might take a little bit of time, especially if you already have students in your team. It's generating a lot of content at one time. All right, so your OneNote Class Notebook is ready. So again, it's integrated right into Microsoft Teams. OneNote does have a separate app and space that you could use, but because it's integrated into your Teams, if you do it this way, you can work in your Class Notebook directly out of this space. So from here, there's so much to learn in Class OneNote, so we won't get into all of the details. But from here, if you go up to the top left, depending on how big your screen is, some of this might look a little bit different. But if I click on this little caret, it will open up where I can now see those spaces that it described on the previous screen. So I have collaboration space, which is a space that you and your students all have access to. So everyone's able to collaborate in one place together. You can make new tabs, new pages, and students can collaborate amongst each other and with you. Content library, think about that as like your bookshelf. So this is the place where you can add materials that you want students to use and access. And then teacher only is a space where you can be building content before you're ready to push it out to students. So again, this is just one more place that you have an option to use, but you don't, if you're brand new to Teams, you might decide to not use Class Notebook to start, and maybe that's something in the future you decide to build into your course.